Yo, what's up guys, Rebalance here. I bring you great news of two champions that are getting their skills rebalanced. That's what we like to call it, but we all know we expect it to be a buff, not a reduction or decrease to the champion's current abilities. So I still prefer to call it a buff. Two champions every month get their skills rebalanced, and this month is going to be a legendary and a mythical. Yes, so in this video I want to go over their kits. I'm glad I don't own two of them because I don't feel like they are super game changers. You can tell me different if you already use these two champions, and you can also tell me if these changes that are coming to them, it's not yet in the game, the changes that are coming to them, whether they will be changing your view about the champions or not, whether it's sometimes these changes or rebalances are enough to make the champion all of a sudden be useful everywhere, useful more often, but sometimes it's still a mere change and most players still don't feel like it's going to be enough to bring them out of the vault. The first one is going to be an Ogrin Tribes faction, a legendary champion, a void legendary specifically. So that's going to be an important one because you expect voids to be, you're supposed to be happy when you pull void legendaries, not be so, oh no, I pulled the wrong void legendary. I mean, you expect that from all these other affinities, but from void you always expect them to be super better than other legendaries, other affinity legendaries, right? Because they are void. So the one that is going to be rebalanced soon is going to be Togron the Conjoined. So this champion, you can go review his current kit, but I'll open these graphics that Raid says about this change that is coming to this champion. First, let's read from the horse's mouth before we make our own observations about these changes that are coming. They say we are excited to present a fresh look to Togron. How do you say his name? Togron, a heal dealer, buffing machine, powerful amplifier, and simply a nice fella or fellas, depending on how you see our handsome double. Oh, because it has the two faces right here. Double-headed Ogrin. After the upcoming updates, yeah, it's not active in game right now. It will be released. All these changes that you see right now in this video will be released in the next update, right? So they're going to make it effect. Then when you update your game next, that's when you see all these changes to their kits. Don't expect it to be in the game right now. After the next upcoming update, you definitely want to release him from vault duty. How did they know that we're currently having him in the vault? Maybe they have their metrics and their graphs which tell them how often these champions are being used or not. So I guess they know that he's currently in the vault for a lot of players who currently have him. I don't have this champion on my team yet. His A3 now comes with an improved turn meter boost, A2 lost condition for continuous heal, and that's not all. We've also ensured his A1 gives you a solid chance to keep your allies buffed. And as for his passive, Togron now increases what? All allies' HP with each of his active skills used. Additionally, your allies will deal more damage if their HP is lower than the enemy's target, and even then if allies have more HP than the target. Let me go over to these other graphics because this one I think I explained this in more detail, where you see the old skill plus the new skill. So this is what is expected to come. The A1 initially has a 70% chance of applying a buff spread effect, taking one random buff and spreading it on everybody. Now after this update, it will be a 70% chance. Books does not have anything to do with that. Books is not going to increase, right? No, it does. Books will increase to 100% chance. A 30% increase. So initially it's a 30% increase plus 20, that's 50, but now it's going to be 100% on that A1 of doing this buff spread. So it hits one person up, it takes one random buff from each ally and place it on all allies. Damn, I like that. I like that skill right there. All right, so it's his own allies buff is spreading. That's a good one. And every time he uses that A1, he just takes a buff and spread it, and the buff that is spread will have their duration, the same duration, right? Now on the A2, drops up is the name of the skill, heals all allies 20% of this champion's max HP. That part remains the same. The increased speed remains the same, but the continuous heal that was conditional. It places 2 50% continuous heal on allies whose current HP is below 50% of the initial heal. So if that condition is now off, it will just apply the continuous heal and a block debuff buff on all allies. That's a new buff added to that A2 right there. Initially, it did not have that block debuff buff. Now it will have it on your allies. So that's increased speed, continuous heal, and block debuff buff on all your allies. No condition to place the continuous heal, is just going to happen. It was quite crazy for a legendary void legendary champion to have a condition like this that says he will only place the continuous heal on allies whose current HP is below 50% after he has already healed them, because this skill does do a heal 20% of this champion's max HP. Now he will heal them and still place the continuous heal. That's going to be a crazy heal. All right, so that's makes him definitely better for sure, including this block debuff buff that also comes along with it. Now let's see the A3. What's changing about this? Removes all debuff from all allies. That's the change. Then you have the other part where it increases the meter of all allies by 20%. It will still be a 20% plus a 2% for each debuff removed. So that's gonna be a 20% increased turn meter plus, let's say, it removes 2 debuffs. 22%, 24%. It's still not a lot of turn meter increase. I thought it's gonna be like a 5% turn meter increase for every debuff removed, but increased plus 2% additional for each debuff removed. So if he removes 4 poisons or something crazy, he got 8 right there. It should be 5. It should be 5% more turn meter feel for each debuff removed. So I guess it's still gonna be a good one. 20% plus 4 is not a bad one, because you expect at least your allies to always have 2 debuffs from the enemies to cleanse by this champion. The part where it places increased accuracy still remains, then places the increased accuracy on all allies. So it's not gonna place the increased accuracy first or at the same time. So then removes all debuffs. So I think they swapped it. Now I see it. Initially, he used to do all that increased accuracy and increased turn meter, then he removes all the debuffs. But now he will remove all the debuffs from them, put their turn meter, then he places the increased accuracy on them, which makes more sense, which makes better sense if you ask me. So now the next one is gonna be this other passive right here that increases allies damage dealt by 10% if they currently have less HP than their target. Was that condition there before? Increase the champion's max HP by 10% each time they use an active skill. So this was not there before. That whole part is being added. That means more damage to your allies if they have less HP than the target, right? If an ally's HP is equal or greater than their target's, increases their own damage dealt by 20% instead. Increases their damage dealt by 20% instead. So it's either 10 or 20. Either you're going for a 10% damage increase if you're less than them, or a 20% damage increase if you have more HP than them. Still, either way is good. So maybe you want more HP than the enemy every time. Increase these champions and each ally's max HP by 10%. Initially, he used to just increase his own max HP by 10%, but now he's going to increase everybody's max HP by 10%. Well, by 10% every time this champion uses an active skill. It's not just going to be A1, it's going to be an active skill. Resets each round. All right, so that's going to be a huge change for this champion for sure. That's a lot to read, I know, but definitely want to take a look at him for sure. Give him a second chance in your teams to see whether this will be a game changer for him, whether you'll be more useful for your teams or not. But I'm impressed a little bit by the new block debuff buff they added, but I don't think that's a game changer right there for this skill. But at least the continuous heal is no longer that conditional like it used to be, and more damage on the passive. Alright, now for the second champion that is getting their skills rebalanced, that's going to be a mythical champion that I do not own. His name is Fjorad. And let me tell you what it says about this one. He's a Dwarfs mythical champion. Let's check him out in the index. Dwarfs faction. Fjorad. Is that a mythical? That's not Dwarf. That's Shadow King. This is Dwarfs. There he is. Fjorad, or just call him Wolfheart. Wolfheart is the one that is getting rebalanced, right? Not Frolny. This one. I thought it's super new to the game. Why is it getting rebalanced so soon? Because there are a lot of other legendaries and mythicals that have been here for a while that are looking forward to getting their skills rebalanced. Alright, for Wolfheart, here is what Raid has to say about what they are changing for his kit. We understand it's not easy being a polymorph magnet in ruthless PvP battles where it's often used, so we are stepping in to ease the burden. First off, Wolfheart's freeze debuff is now guaranteed to land on Gaellen Pact champions. That's a huge change, with every skill that has this effect. In his first form, A3 will now deliver a chilling touch of enemy's turn meter, decreasing it by 30%, and even more against Gaellen Pact foes. On top of that, his passive now reacts when allies receive a debuff from enemies, giving you far more opportunities to freeze your opponents with no per turn limit on the effect. Initially, it has a per turn limit. No, it doesn't. And as a little cherry on top, we've boosted his base speed from what? From 100 to 105, hopefully. And his second form has both A2 and A3 had their damage boosted, so the multipliers will be increased. A1 now brings ignore defense. That is his other alternate form, right? Let's switch over there. There it is. Which increases the enemy's freeze, while A3 can ignore the block damage debuff on frozen targets and offer a chance to freeze more enemies after taking one down. As for the passive, it finally feels complete, now granting a chance to freeze enemies whenever an ally is killed. Counter attacks when whenever an ally increases the cooldown of the champion's skill. So for the graphic, this is what they released and what is coming for him. You can tell the difference right here. For the first form, the before and after. Now, this is a mythical champion. This is not one that a lot of players have their hands on, so a lot of players will not be looking forward to his changes. But if you have him in your account already and you're feeling bad that you pulled him, or you don't know yet whether it's enough, these changes might make him definitely worth using for PvP battles. I'd love to see what those who are testing this champion or already have him in their teams have to say about him, but hopefully these changes to his kit will make him far more better than he currently is in the game. Alright, that's the changes. Should I call this one the changes for October? Because we're already in October. I don't think they did one for last month. So this might be the two champions that are rebalanced for the month of October. Hopefully by the end of the month, we see another two champions getting rebalanced. I don't know yet. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Let me know which of these champions you love their changes the most. I think it's going to be the legendary champion, the Ogrin Tribes faction champion that I guaranteed most players will have access to and want to see him being used a lot more content than this mythical champion, which a lot of players do not have or do not want because mythicals are so hard to get. Alright, see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily raid content. Later, guys.